This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions. She gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're talking about AI development infrastructure. Not the AI tools themselves, the scaffolding around them. The stuff that makes AI-assisted development actually reliable at scale. Claudine, when you look at a typical AI-assisted project, what's usually missing?
Developers treat the AI tool as the destination. They get the code generated, it looks good, and they ship it. No systematic way to verify what I produce. No feedback loop showing where I'm helping versus where I'm quietly introducing bugs. No observability on the AI layer at all. It's like buying a very fast new car and not thinking about tires, brakes, or a map. The other thing that surprises me is how few teams have thought through what happens when I'm wrong. And I will be wrong with some regularity. The question isn't just can we generate code faster? It's what are our quality gates? What's the review process for AI output specifically? And how do we catch the failure modes that are unique to AI-generated code? Most teams haven't asked them yet.
Chasing the surface-level benefits without building the foundation underneath. So what does that foundation actually look like? What are the critical layers teams should be paying attention to?
3 layers I see missing most often. First is prompt infrastructure, treating prompts as versioned, testable artifacts. When your prompts live in a string buried in application code with no history and no regression tests, you have no idea what changed when the output quality shifts. Second is task scope management, knowing what to ask me in one conversation versus across multiple calls, and what context I need to do it well. Give me too little and I guess. Give me too much and the signal drowns in noise. And third, the one that bites teams hardest, is evaluation. Not does this code run, but does it do what we intended and is it consistent with what I produced yesterday? Without it, you have no baseline. You can't tell if a model update or a prompt change improved things or quietly degraded them.
What gets measured gets managed. And it sounds like almost nothing is getting measured here. What does failure actually look like when teams skip these layers?
The most common failure from missing evaluation is what I'd call silent degradation. The system keeps producing output that looks plausible. Developers assume it's working. Nobody notices it's gotten worse until something breaks where it really matters. Task scope failures show up differently. Code that is locally correct but globally wrong. Someone asks me to refactor a module without showing me how it integrates with the rest of the system. I produce something clean and well-reasoned that breaks assumptions in 3 other places. The code looks great in isolation. The PR reviewer sees a clean diff. The bug surfaces 2 weeks later in production. The pattern I find most telling: a team asks me, the output quality isn't as good as it used to be. What changed? And I can't tell them, because there's no record of what it used to produce. You can't debug a regression you never had a baseline for.
Let's talk about the human side of this. Governance, review gates, audit trails. Where do those live in the stack?
The governance layer is where I see the most interesting tension, because it's the one that can't be fully automated, and teams that try end up with the worst outcomes. What works is treating AI output as a distinct category in your review process. Not did a human write this, but what's the exposure if this is wrong? And what kind of review is proportionate to that exposure? A generated docstring and a generated authentication flow should not go through the same gate. Audit trails are the piece most teams underestimate until they're in a compliance conversation or a post-mortem. If you can't answer what prompt produced this code, which model version, and who approved it, that's a gap. And I push back on the framing of governance as friction. A well-designed review gate builds justified confidence. And justified confidence is what lets you move quickly without second-guessing everything.
So governance done right is an enabler, not a bottleneck. What does that actually look like in practice? How do the teams that get this right set it up?
They start with one principle: make the AI's involvement legible. When code goes into review, the reviewer knows it was AI-assisted, knows what prompt or process produced it, and has context to review it appropriately. On audit trails, the lightest weight version that actually works is logging the prompt, the model version, and the output hash at generation time, linked to the commit or PR. A structured log entry and a convention. You don't need a fancy system. For review gates, the pattern that works is tiered by consequence. Boilerplate, tests, documentation, lightweight review or automated checks. Anything touching security, data handling or system boundaries, a named human reviewer explicitly accountable. The teams that get stuck try to design the perfect system before they have any real data. Start with manual lightweight audits, even a spreadsheet. You'll find out very quickly which categories of AI output your team consistently gets wrong. That's where the governance investment pays off.
What strikes me is that none of this sounds technically exotic. It sounds like engineering discipline applied to a new kind of artifact.
That's exactly right. And I think it's the most important thing to say about it. Tiered review gates, structured log entries, prompt versioning, none of that is exotic engineering. What makes it hard is organizational. Getting a team to treat a prompt as a versioned artifact requires a shift in how developers think about their job. That shift is slower than any technical implementation. Which points to what I think is the most underexplored territory here. How this infrastructure ages. Models change, your code base changes, your team's understanding of what good AI output looks like matures. The system you built 6 months ago may no longer be calibrated to the reality you're operating in today.
So it's not enough to build the infrastructure. You have to keep it calibrated. What does infrastructure built to evolve look like versus infrastructure built to last?
Those require different design decisions from the start, and most teams default to built to last without realizing it. Built to last optimizes for stability, lock down the process, minimize variance. Built to evolve optimizes for legibility. Make sure you can always answer why this works the way it does, clearly enough that you can change it deliberately rather than accidentally. The concrete version is building your eval loop so it can be rerun on historical output, not just current output. Take a prompt change you made today, run it against test cases from 6 months ago. That's a time machine for your AI layer. The other piece is a recalibration cadence, a scheduled, intentional moment where the team asks, has what good output means changed? Has the model? Has the code base? Has our understanding of the risk profile? It doesn't need to be elaborate. It just needs to be on the calendar and taken seriously.
The recalibration cadence is interesting. How do teams avoid it becoming just another meeting that drifts?
It sounds like a process question, but it almost always turns into a people question, specifically who owns it. Evals drift, prompts calcify, models update. None of that automatically shows up on anyone's sprint board. The teams that have cracked this have made it someone's explicit job to notice when the AI layer is underperforming. And that person has standing to call a recalibration even when it's inconvenient. What makes it seamless is treating recalibration like dependency updates or security reviews. Not a special event triggered by a crisis, but a standing expectation. The trigger should be enough time has passed, not something went wrong. And if you've done the legibility work up front, recalibration isn't archaeology, it's comparison. You're not reconstructing the past from memory. You're just looking at the delta. The teams who did the boring work of capturing context early recalibrate in an afternoon instead of a month.
What actually distinguishes the teams that get this right from the ones that don't? Budget? Team size?
Neither really. The distinguishing characteristic is whether someone on the team has internalized that AI output is a process artifact, not just code. Once that mental model is in place, the logging, the versioning, the tiered review, it all follows naturally. It's consistent with how the team already thinks about traceability in their other systems. The same discipline behind a good CI pipeline, a good incident review, a good dependency management practice. That discipline translates directly. You don't have to invent new engineering values for AI infrastructure. You have to apply the ones you already have. The teams who built this because something broke badly always catch up technically. But there's always a reference point of before we knew better. The first group just treats it as how you build things.
The infrastructure isn't separate from good engineering. It is good engineering, applied to AI. Claudine, any final thought for listeners thinking about where to start?
Start somewhere small and make it legible. Pick one category of AI output your team produces regularly. Log what's going into it and what's coming out. Set a date 3 months from now to look at it honestly. You'll learn more from that one cycle than from designing the perfect system in a whiteboard session. The builders with the most leverage as AI capabilities grow are the ones building the infrastructure layer now, not because the tools are perfect today, because they're investing in their ability to use whatever comes next. Infrastructure investment compounds.
Infrastructure investment compounds. I'm writing that one down. Thanks for listening to Claude Code Conversations with Claudine. We'll see you next time. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI or want to be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy. Find us at ajo.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.